Hi, my name is Jennifer Moore, and today my CEU course is over the ancient game played in China called Cuju. So a little introduction to Cuju. The physical demands are agility, balance, endurance, leg strength, flexibility, core strength, coordination. They have to use their non-dominant foot as well as their knees and other parts of their body. So Cuju is basically a really early type of soccer. They play with a ball and a goal on two ends of the field, on each end of the field. And there's two teams with players about from 12 to 16 players on the field. So they're basically kicking the ball back and forth, passing it around to their teammates to try to make it into the goal on their respective side. So the goal in Cuju, the actual goal, is a silk cloth with a hole in it, suspended between two posts typically, or a crescent shape goal. Physiological demands for anaerobic, it's high intensity movements like sprints, jumps, and powerful kicks. Anaerobic is prevalent for quick energy for explosive movements. Another is aerobic. So they do a lot of running. It's not always high intensity sprints. They're running back and forth across the field for a long period of time. And lactate tolerance is really important as they're performing really powerful explosive skills to try to kick the ball and keep it in the air. One rule in Cuju is most of the time in formal play, if the ball hits the ground, that's a penalty or a foul, or the other team gets the ball. So they try to keep the ball off the ground. Another physiological demand is muscular strength and muscular endurance. Some KPIs, some key physical indicators of Cuju is the kicking accuracy. They want a successful rate of goals scored, of course, or completed passes to teammates, ball control, and juggling ability. The time spent maintaining the ball. They want to see successful juggles, ability to keep possession under pressure from the opponent, agility and speed. The time to complete a shuttle run is often used as an indicator. They also assess the ability to evade opponents, so they're going to need a lot of agility for that. Endurance is really important. The recovery rate after those high intensity movements are also key physical indicators. Their strength and power for heights, kicking, their jump ability. Reaction time is also really important. As the opponent's kicking the ball, you want to be able to react to the ball in whatever manner is needed. And then normative data. So this is kind of like the baselines or the levels that coaches would be looking for when recruiting players, and kind of the skill level difference between say like major league and minor league. But for Cuju, it's kind of more just formal and informal. Informal is just played to have a good time. Not really too serious, just played casually. Informal is when there was actual competitions. A lot of the times in ancient China, they would play in front of like whoever is at the top of like their said government at the time, say like an emperor or something like that. So that would be more formal play. The normal data for this, formal play is more intense and competitive with structured rules and roles. The flexibility standard is higher, higher demand of the ROM and the hips and the legs and the core, as they're expected to perform really intrusive or difficult skills. Speed, rapid acceleration is expected to be higher. Strength, obviously they need strength to put power in behind their kicks and their moves. In a formal play, they also typically play on a larger field. In informal, it's often smaller. They're also expected to be able to perform sudden sprints. And informal play, The emphasis is shifted to enjoyment, like I said, and less pressure. Obviously, the speed demands are lower, flexibility demands are lower, strength demands are lower, and power demands are lower, as they're not really too serious and they're just having fun. Obviously, there are still some technical skills needed, but it's not as serious, so the demands aren't as high. To continue the introduction to Cuju, some common limitations, so like injuries and conditions, are sprains and strains to the ankles, hamstrings, and knees, fractures to the legs and ribs, as they're using their body a lot to move the ball around. They're going to use their body, so like their chest, their stomach, their back. Some more injuries are dislocations to the shoulders, fingers, knees, and elbows, contusions to the legs, torsos, and arms, tendonitis in the Achilles tendon and the patellar tendon, heat-related illnesses like heat stroke, blisters and abrasions to the feet, knees, elbows, and hands. Like I said before, they're trying to make sure the ball doesn't hit the ground, so you might see them basically just throwing their bodies on the ground to make sure the ball doesn't hit the ground. So they're slipping and sliding in the grass a lot. Another condition or injury is injuries to the groin and the hip flexors. Some relevant information for success. Success in the ancient game of Cuju required a combination of endurance, agility, strength, power, and coordination. That's kind of just the baseline. Players needed strong aerobic capacity to sustain continuous movement over extended periods. As the game often got involved, running, quick changes of direction, and maintaining control of the ball. They need like I said, flexibility and mobility. Those are essential for executing precise kicks and acrobatic maneuvers. While lower body strength and power contributed to generating forceful and accurate kicks. Additionally, core stability and balance were also crucial for success in the game. A sample macro cycle that they would do throughout the year is off-season would be about 1 to 2 months, preseason 3 to 4 months. That's when you would see the preparation and the strength, power, speed, and agility phases. In-season is 3 to 4 months, and post-season would be 1 to 2 months. Now our training strategies. So this can go in terms of the thoughts behind phases, the strategies behind phases, training phases, what they do in training phases. Okay, our preparation phase. So to go back to talk about training strategies, like I said earlier, the phases they choose to do is part of the training strategies. So in the preparation phase, you would see them working to build a foundation with a lot of emphasis on endurance, flexibility, mobility, and movement efficiency. Aerobic training, like short interval sprints, you would see them doing this in the preparation phase. Dynamic stretching and mobility drills to improve ROM. So they would use like unilateral exercises to work on that mobility and ROM. You would see compound lifts to build strength, low load but highly technical movements. So you would see like your Olympic lifts to get their CNS ready, work on that nervous system. So you would see those Olympic lifts, or like the early derivatives, learning how to do the Olympic lifts. So you would see your clean pull, high pull, and eventually your clean, and so on. You would see them increasing the intensity weekly. Another phase you would see is your strength power phase. Here you see them developing explosive power, maximal strength, and the ability to generate force quickly. The training strategies would center on combining Olympic lifts, plyometrics. You would also see ballistics and functional strength. This is to meet the demands of the game. You see heavy, low rep compound lifts. You would see plyometrics for reactive power and Olympic lifts for rapid force. So rapid hip flexion, rapid hip extension. This would be beneficial in the sport for when they're needed to do kicks. Those hip flexors need to be strong and be able to move fast. And then you would also see your agility and coordination phase. Here, the emphasis would be on neuromuscular efficiency, reaction training, and sport specific drills to enhance coordination and agility. Change of direction training like cone drills, the mirror drill. You would see them strengthening the core and improve single leg stability. Single arm leg exercises, unilateral exercises, and you would see them asymmetrically loading. And you would also see low to moderate plyo exercises to improve explosive vertical and lateral movement. So of course, these are not the only training phases you would see them using in their training strategies, but these are, in my opinion, they're the most important ones to give the players better skills for performance and also help prevent injury when they're in play. So thank you for watching this presentation, and that is the sport Cuju.